Hey everybody, Tony D. Little Joan is finally had enough of me, so she's out of the room. This is a screenwriter's rant on Doors. No, not the band from the '60s, but a movie called Doors, a sci-fi movie called Doors. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Finally, my subscriptions started to creep back up. No thanks to YouTube and their crazy algorithms and their censoring and whatnot. Check out my books. Link in the description. I'll also be doing some kind of talk this weekend at a show called Evil Con. I'll be doing it remotely, somehow streaming it. I'm not clear on the technology. I've gone back and forth with the con organizers, and I'm still not clear if this is how this is going to happen. But it's going to happen on Saturday. One time is like I think the first one's at like 4 or 4:30, and then the second one's at like 8:30. So look for it at EvilCon. I assume it's evilcon.com. Now, Doors. So this is a movie about some alien doors that land on Earth or were grown in Earth or something. And you're supposed to report them to the government, but this guy has a secret one that he's kept. And from Boulder Light Pictures, he's not told anybody, and he tells his friends, and weird stuff starts to happen. And then the government shows up, like in E.T., only they have. This looks like a low budget movie. Their hazmat suits are very. I like them. I like the design, but they seem very low tech. It doesn't seem like to be enough people. And then it crossed between those guys, the government guys, and these kids at a local high school, I'm assuming, where a door is. And so weird stuff starts happening. Doesn't really make it clear what is the deal here. There's levitation going on, and I don't know, something weird happens, I guess. And the doors have strange effects on people. So they start seeing, are they seeing things, or things actually happen? And then this girl touches a door and like disappears. Boom. So Josh Peck is one of the characters, and Wilson Bethel, Kip Malone. I don't know any of these people, but it looks interesting. Not really clear on the plot. There's a lot of stuff going on. Every choice, and they see a bunch of strange things. I don't know what this is. I assume it's some sort of NASA. It's called Doors. March 23rd. So it's some kind of surreal, almost like 2001 type movie, only more low budgety. That's the way I would perceive it. And I would say the first act is probably the guy with the beard puttering around and messing around with the door that no one knows he has. I guess you're supposed to report them to the government. And then he's messing around with it, and then eventually the government finds out and shows up, but the door is causing all sorts of problems locally. Maybe they've been looking for it, and then the high schoolers are being impacted somehow, or maybe it's 3 separate doors in 3 separate locations. I'm not sure. April 6th. On video on demand, March 23rd. Home video, April 6th. So then the second act, things get weirder. Probably that's when the government people show up in the second act. They probably just hint at them at the first act, and then they show up in the second act. And then second act, things just get stranger and stranger, and they're trying to figure out what it is, and they're seeing all these strange things, and they get insights into their lives, and maybe some of them die. And then the third act is probably some sort of revelation, like in 2001 that no one really got unless you read the book, but that it's some sort of device to transcend humanity, maybe, and learn the secrets of the universe, and then the end. I don't know. These movies tend to have a surreal disposition to them, so they tend to have surreal endings. where it's like, ooh, we don't know what happened. They all disappear. Poof. The end. So it's a tough ending to pull off. I didn't think they pulled it off I didn't think Stanley Kubrick really pulled it off in 2001. The first time I saw 2001, I was very confused. I'd watched it on TV, and there was a commercial break, and then when it came back, it was the scene with Dave, and he was suddenly in bed, and I was like, did I miss part of the movie? Wait a minute. And then, things start happening, from the point at which the bedroom scene happens, and then it's just like, I was so confused. I was watching it going, what the hell is happening? It wasn't until I went to college and they explained to me, oh, it's a book and this is what happens. Then I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I like a lot of Stanley Kubrick, but that movie, up until that point, it was great, and then it was like I was very confused. But now that I know what it is, I can appreciate it. I prefer most of his other movies, really. They're a little more straightforward, but that's just me. So if they do go down that road and give us one of those very surreal endings, they're very difficult to pull off. I mean, that is high wire. You don't get any higher than that. There's another movie, Blowout. If you've never ever seen the movie Blowout, they remade it in the States, and it was called Blow Up with John Travolta, and it's nothing like it's a little like the French movie. I think it's French, and man, you want to talk about a surreal ending that you'll be like, what? But again, it's one of those movies you got to read a little bit about first, and then you go, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. So, really tough to pull out. And those two movies, 2001 and Blowout, they're considered classics. So, you're trying to make a classic. It's tough. It's tough, man. And a lot of it, I think, it's not just the material, it's also the buzz around it that really generates it. So if you can garner that buzz, then yeah. But it's really tough to do because you need the whole world behind you going, oh, you're a genius, to really make that work. But I would see this movie just because, it's different. I want to see what they're going to do, like what's on the other side of the portal, what's the explanation. Even if it's unsatisfying, I'm willing to take that risk because, I like to see things that are different. So, Doors, Josh Peck, March 23rd and April 6th.